Welcome to the news on the hour on Providence Television International. I am Ugbebo Ikekwa. Suspended Senator Natasha Dwagan, representing Kogi Central, escalated her dispute with Senate President Godswill Akpabio on Tuesday by presenting her case at the United Nations Forum. Speaking at the Women in Parliament session during the Inter-Parliamentary Union meeting at the United Nations in New York, Dwagan called for international intervention to hold the Nigerian Senate accountable. She asserted that she was facing political victimization and intimidation for demanding an open and transparent investigation into her sexual harassment allegations against Akpabio. Senator Dwagan called on human rights organizations, women's movements, and democratic institutions to hold the Nigerian Senate accountable, emphasizing that Nigeria needs global partners to push for women's political inclusion, safety, and protection from political harassment. She maintained that her suspension was illegal and vowed to continue her fight against injustice, victimization, and gender discrimination. The Standards Organization of Nigeria has intensified efforts to enhance product certification and support manufacturers by decentralizing its laboratory network and introducing a temporary product identification scheme. Speaking at the Stakeholders Forum on the Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program for all products manufactured in Nigeria, the Director General of the SON, Dr. Ifeanyi Okeke, stated that the agency has established 7 regional laboratories in Bauchi, Abuja, Kano, Awka, Akwa Ibom, and Lagos. He disclosed that the move will significantly reduce the time it takes for manufacturers to test their products, thereby easing the certification process. Edo State government on Tuesday vowed to provide quality education and employment opportunities for the visually impaired persons in the state. The state deputy governor, Honorable Dennis Idahosa, stated this when he hosted members of the Nigeria Association of the Blind, Edo State chapter, led by its chairman, Lucky Imafidon. Honorable Idahosa also pledged on behalf of the state government to protect, uphold, and give special consideration to the well-being and livelihood of the visually impaired citizens who reside in Edo State. Veteran broadcaster Dr. Emmanuel Eyariva has called on the federal government to take drastic measures to reduce the sufferings of the masses, noting that violent protests are inevitable if amelioratory measures are not put in place soon. Dr. Eyariva made the call during an interview session on the program Newspaper Analysis on Providence Television International. He disclosed that Nigerians are not enjoying the dividends of democracy and expressed disgust that while the Nigerian populace are under gross economic inconvenience, the leaders are flouting ill-gotten wealth through corrupt practices. The veteran broadcaster further called on relevant authorities to address the incessant kidnap and murder of priests, emphasizing that Catholic priests have become endangered species
in this country. And that's why they said a violent
uprising
looms. And sometimes it's so palpable. There are so many things weighing us down in this country. And our leaders are not paying attention. Rather, they are pursuing vainglory, things that do not quite matter to the daily survival of our people. And by the way, let's remember this, that the Catholic bishops have a reason to be worried, because in the last 2 or 3 years, over 50 priests have been killed in cold blood. Over 50 priests. Some are still, as we talk now, some are still in captivity. So you do not expect, not just Catholic bishops, a lot of people, many Nigerians are worried about what is going on in this country. Security is there, living conditions are getting poorer by the day, the infrastructure is getting poorer, and yet some of our leaders are living in opulence. They don't care. I mean, look at what is happening in
A 21-year-old notorious bandit leader, Salisu Mohammed, popularly known as Dogo Saleh, met his end at the hands of his gang members after being arrested by the operatives of the FCT Police Command. Saleh, identified as a hitman for criminal gangs operating in Rijana Forest, Kaduna State, has been responsible for kidnappings and multiple killings along the Kaduna-Lokoja-Enugu Highway. The FCD Command spokesperson Josephine Adair issued a statement today disclosing that police acting on intelligence conducted a covert operation to intercept Saleh at Gideon Abbey Forest on March 3, 2025. She stated that during the initial encounter, police operatives arrested Saleh, recovering an AK-49 rifle, 2 magazines, 60 rounds of live ammunition, and 3 million naira suspected ransom proceeds. She added that the anti-kidnapping unit of the command launched a follow-up raid on March 4, 2025 at the bandit hideout in Kosau Forest, where his gang had established a major hideout. The operatives engaged the criminals in a fierce gun battle as the bandits attempted to free Saleh, but were overpowered and forced to flee into the forest with severe gunshot wounds. Dogo Saleh sustained fatal gunshot wounds inflicted by his own gang during the crossfire. He was rushed to Kuba General Hospital, where he was confirmed dead. 9 survivors who were abducted by gunmen in Ondo State last week have been released by their abductors on Tuesday night. The victims were kidnapped while working at a site at the Lower Bog community in Akure North local government area of the state, with the abductors demanding a sum of 100 million naira for their release. Following the development, hundreds of women stormed the streets of Akure, the Ondo State capital, on Tuesday to protest against the abduction of the surveyors. Technical Director of the Nigeria Football Federation, Austin Eguavoin, has stated that the new head coach of the Super Eagles, Eric Shelley, had the final say on the final squad for this month's crucial 2026 World Cup qualifying matches without interference from the technical committee. Nigeria will face Rwanda in Kigali on Friday, March 21st, before returning to the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo to face Zimbabwe on Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, in a bid to revive their World Cup qualification bid. After dropping a 39-man provisional list for his first set of assignments for Nigeria last week, the Franco-Malian coach named his final squad on Tuesday ahead of the team's campaign, which begins in Kigali, Rwanda, on Sunday. Nigeria risk missing out on the 2026 World Cup, set to be co-hosted by the United States, Mexico, and Canada, following a disappointing start to their qualifying campaign. After 4 matches, the 3-time African champions sit in 5th position with just 3 points and 6 games left to play in the qualifying series. Meanwhile, Super Eagles head coach Eric Shelley has dropped in from Getafe midfielder Christiantus Uche and Rangers striker Cyril Dessers in a shocking move as he unveiled his final 23-man squad for the upcoming 2026 World Cup qualifying matches against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. The omission of the players has raised questions, especially considering their exceptional performances in their respective clubs this season. Of the 23 players called up, there are 4 new invitees, with Tolu Arokodare, Daniel Mustafa, Igo Ogbu, and Kayode Bankole all getting their maiden call-ups. The final squad includes goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali and Bankole, defenders William Ekong, Calvin Bassi, and Olaoluwa Aina, midfielders Alex Iwobi and Wilfred Ndidi, and forwards Ademola Lukman, Victor Osibe, and Simon Moses. Tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports into the United States have come into effect from today, Wednesday, 12th, 2025. In a move that has intensified the global trade war sparked by President Donald Trump, a 25% duty with no exceptions or exemptions is now being levied on metal imports into the United States. Trading partners were quick to express objections, with some swiftly announcing retaliation. The tariffs came into play as exemptions, duty-free quotas, and product exclusions expired. Trump has claimed that the taxes will help U.S. metal sector and create jobs. However, the tariff threats are jolting markets, raising fears of an economic shutdown. Pakistani security forces have freed 155 passengers from a hijacked train as the operation to rescue the remaining hostages continues in the southwestern province of Balochistan. The train, which was carrying 450 passengers, including army personnel and their families, was targeted by more than 100 gunmen from the separatist Baloch Liberation Army on Tuesday afternoon. A security official disclosed that the full-scale military operation is underway and 27 terrorists have been killed. The official stated that militants were using the passengers as shields, placing suicide bombers wearing explosive vests dangerously close to the hostages. And now to the exchange rate. $1, its equivalent in naira, is now 1,557, and €1, 1,695 naira. 1 British pound now stands at 2,015 naira, and 1 Canadian dollar, its equivalent in naira, is 1,081. And that's the news on the hour. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned.